Om Shanti. Constantly experience an unshakable, immovable, and constant stage. Throne of a constant stage. The most elevated throne to be seated on is Bap Dada's heart throne. However, before sitting on this throne, you need the throne of a stage that is unshakable, immovable, and constant. You can only remain stable on the throne of a constant stage when you have the practice of remaining seated on your immortal throne. Just as those tapasvis always sit on a seat, similarly, you should remain stable on the throne of a constant stage of soul. Do not leave this seat, and only then will you receive the throne. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today's day 21. Constantly experience an unshakable, immovable, and constant stage. Today's topic: Throne of a constant stage. Point for self-respect. Karma Yogi. Whose work is this? It is Baba's, performed through me. I, the soul, am Karanhar, Baba is Karavanhar. Every act is for godly service. I am a Karma Yogi. Practices Step 1. I am a Karma Yogi. Step 2. Baba is Karavanhar. I, the soul, am Karanhar. Every act is for godly service. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. One is listening to Baba and then determination that this is what I should be. And then we start making efforts. But this is something very entertaining, very interesting when we think of a stable mind, unshakable mind, because we start watching the waves in our mind and we start watching that how you are in a very, very good stage. And just for a few moments, some different kind of energy emerges. Especially these days, what we have to be careful about what we see through the eyes, what we listen through the ears, because whatever is around us goes with it, goes in us, no? So we have to be very, very careful about, as I said, whether listening or seeing, and of course, interacting, because all that different kinds of atmosphere, energy can influence you. We use the word attack you. And this is happening lot and lot. That is why I've been thinking a lot about that emotional health and how it is important to really, really pay attention that somewhere maybe you are not thinking right, or different opinions, and these days anything you want to know, okay, call Google. There is AI, and I always say, do you need to know all that, right? Okay, they say that, okay, I like potatoes, right? So I want to do a research. They are okay to eat, they are harmful. Should I eat or not? Let me Google and find out, right? So you find out, and that stays with you. So sometimes, like I ask souls, why you not doing it? Because of, I said, from where you learned Google. So, but Google is not our teacher, right? Information is all right, but you take that information and apply that. This is just to think that how much we take from outside is stays in, and sometimes certain moments it just appears, and our mind start becoming is shaken. Like different kinds of thoughts come, waves come, lack of trust could happen, many things could happen. So I remember that when I had started going and had the experience of going in trance, then Brahma Baba said, you come early morning, 3:45, and he made me sit on the wall side of his bed. And then Baba gave drishti and said, go to Baba. And I'm not going in detail, but bring this message, some message he gave about himself. So, of course, I went, and then I came back. And so then Baba said that one important thing to sustain and to maintain your this part is not allow your intellect to be influenced by anything. Knowing is one thing, but then you accept, then you keep it, and even if you don't keep, it will somewhere jump out of nowhere, and you start getting the thoughts. So it's fluctuation. No? You lose that stability. And I remember that even wherever I go, because like at UN we have to do a lot. So I have to look at everything, know everything, because otherwise how can I, when we submit our papers at UN, then I have to read them properly before we submit. So you have to do all that. But my logic and reasoning shouldn't become like that. Now, there is a big logic about human rights. There is a big logic. So if I am listening and I agree, but I don't allow that kind of reasoning to affect my intellect, because I want the reasoning of Baba. I want reasoning of, from Srimad, so that my power to discern and decide is according to Baba's Srimad. But it's a lot of subtle attention, not only on your mind, but also on your intellect. Because to be stable, and then I remember one time that the Gulzar said, somebody said, I got upset because of this, or I got this big. So Daddy said, there will always be a matter, situation, something until the last moment, and you have to remain stable and unshaken. She said, until last minute, there will be a test paper. So that means we have to be so not alert but attentive in a way, and watch that. What I'm thinking now, is it the influence of something? Is it because I've heard it? So gradually, it's like your filter. You filter information, you filter, like we drink water, pure water. But only do as much necessary, not all the time. Maybe sometimes some people have their job and they want to be advanced and they have to keep studying. But that's for your career, for profession, but not your personal life. I remember there is a saying that there are some people, when they go to work, they keep thinking about their family. And when they are at home, they always talk about work because they can't leave work there. They can't leave family. Otherwise, it should be okay. I am with family, now I am working. After work is done, now I am going home. So mind has this whole habit of flickering and fluctuating, and Baba sometimes compare the mind as mercury in the thermometer because how mercury just comes down, up and down. So, but then again, this whole energy of mind is most important, is needed because this is the seed for every action. It is the seed for my every word. There are some people in Lokik world, they're not even aware. Somebody said, you mean I think before I speak? I just speak. I don't think I think. I said, maybe you just passed that stage. But we think and then speak. He said, oh, I will try. Let me see. And after a few days, he said, I feel something happens in me before I speak. He doesn't even know thoughts. There are some people, but Baba has told us, your treasure is your thoughts. It is through your thought, you remember Baba, it is your thought, you think of elevated action. Thought is necessary. It's a very powerful, most elevated energy is your thought. On from compare anything in the world, but thought is most powerful. So we need it, we can't suppress it. We cannot just, these days there are so many emotional imbalance, so much. When you hear people, but where is the logic in that? It doesn't matter. So I always thank Baba and I say it's good that you have taught us what to think, not how much to think. So it's a very, very big thing. So to be stable, to be unshakable, and I will say no influence of any kind, whether from a situation, a person, material thing, anything, but there shouldn't be any influence. Now there is always choice in life, whether I stay in my stage or I just jump and then there is a situation, I start dealing with that, but not from my stage. So how to do, discern, decide, do everything from your stage. So Baba talks about many stages. So Baba says that the throne of the constant stage, immortal also is like limitless, no? That means when you are not in the limits, whether personal limit or external limits, but you are limitless, right? Because time has limit. So in a way you become timeless. So Baba said that most elevated throne to be seated is Bab Dada's heart throne. So tomorrow morning, Amrit Vela, you try this, right? However, before sitting on this throne, and that is throne of Bab Dada's heart, Baba says you need to, what you have to do, you need to sit on the throne of a constant stage, and that is unshakable and immovable. and constant. So Baba says, you can only remain stable on the throne. You can only remain stable on the throne of a constant stage. Baba says, when you have the practice of remaining seated on your immortal throne. So, what is immortal throne? I was thinking, immortal really is like timeless, no? So, it's like immortal, no influence of the time. There is a big influence of time. So, Baba says that have the practice of remaining seated on your immortal throne. Just as Baba says, most tapasvis always sit on a seat. Similarly, you should also remain seated on the throne of a constant stage. Baba says, do not leave the seat, and only then will you receive the throne of the kingdom of being a master. Because you have to be master. Like I can say with Brahma Baba, he was stable, never lost his cheerfulness, courage, enthusiasm. So many big things happen. You know, we have very small situations comparative to what Baba had. So have that determination and keep practicing to have that stable, unshakable, immovable stage of Shanti.
Mohini, I feel like my close friend, my big sister has come. That makes me very happy. I know it makes all of us happy, no? No idea what that was about.
Just wait 1 second.
You're used to this.
Very nice to have you, and I am also happy to be here. It's so interesting in Madhuban is Shantivan, and here is Peace Village.
Yeah, same.
Almost similar.
Very similar. You know, I was thinking in February, I don't know if you remember this, but in February, you talked about that you had become an expert in swimming. Do you remember saying this? You had become an expert in swimming because of all the incoming waves of requests and all of that. And you gave the example of the glass bottom boat. Can you say a little bit about that? Because I feel like that is very close to what you were saying about stable stage and how to handle that.
Because one of the stage which Baba talks about is free from all desires. Because desires are also could be bubbles, could be waves, could be depend on how deep they are. And then mind also fluctuates. There are a lot of thoughts. And once we both ways, surrender it to Baba. And then whatever I am doing, with the bhavna as an instrument, it's very interesting in what situation you are, because in India we have thousands of people, thousands of centers, and so, and then where I used to say anything happen, oh, it's a big family, it's nothing. So start seeing as a big family. In big family, even sometimes you have 3, 4 brothers, sisters, all are not same, right? One could be brilliant, one could be less brilliant, and you accept them and you try to be within the family. So to see everyone as a family, and whatever their sanskars are, whatever they are, everyone playing their part, they are actors in drama. It's like your attitude becomes so unlimited with this family thing. And it's so interesting that, our presidents, prime minister worldwide had been addressing the nations of the critical time and what could happen. And so same was recently our prime minister was saying that one of the sanskar of Indians or Bharatvasis never disappear is family, culture of family. And so when I say, well, Baba has come also, and Baba keeps saying it's a big family, it's a big family. So it's very interesting. What required is more enhancing your capacity. You have unlimited, you know, attitude. All that helps a lot to be in that stage. So what we talking about is fullness. If you are full, you are content, you're really not looking for anything. Anything when I say is, so if we have that attitude and you see that you are really full, that means you don't want anything, you have no desire. And we notice that, I notice a lot. Is Baba gives, Baba's family, Baba's children. So that makes you very stable also.
Right, that's a secret. And so, with this big family, with all their differences, you spoke about maintaining unity, right? And that's hard a little bit when you have differences. Maintaining unity. You said it was really important that we maintain and sustain unity. But when everyone is so different, it can be a little tricky. So, what is the secret to maintaining unity when we're all so different?
Different doesn't mean differences, no. And why should we threaten by when people have different ideas? I remember Dadi Janki, sometimes when she came here for inauguration and we were cutting the ribbon there, and she was saying, do you worry about something? I said, right now, yes. She said, what is that worry? I said, this hall, when they started, it's a swimming pool, big under, which we are using for, stock. And so she said, you should not worry because whatever is your thought. So I said, they said it will be 30,000 and it's now 110. So from where I will give 80,000? She said, it will come. And I turned around, not even one step, and one brother came to me, said, I want to ask you something. I said, what? Stocks really are very high. So I have stocks I want to sell. And I want to give you this check, which is exactly what I wanted. So I said, wow. And then I realized now more and more, if you really have pure thought and right thought, you won't have to struggle. Anything which is struggle is there is something not right. So that I realized a lot. And
so with this property, we just have to keep this happy stage, right? No worries about that property.
We cannot worry. No, but yeah. So anyway, it's a big project.
It's a big project.
But it is both ways. Town was after us and we needed. And it is so much together. And now Brother Ram Prakash has removed, like you can see through the both together. So if Baba, the way Baba wants, it will happen.
Don't worry, Ram. He won't worry.
He is not worried because he doesn't have to pay. He only spends.
The right job. Okay, so there's the mind and then there is the heart. Now you are saying that we should easily climb on to Bap Dada's heart throne. And so I want you to explain, how do we easily do that without big effort? Just that heart throne and stay there.
How many of you have experienced even sitting for a moment on Baba's heart throne?
For a moment.
Most of you have.
Right.
Half an hour?
Some days, yeah, some days, but not consistently. You tumble off his lap and then find yourself trudging along. But how do you do it consistently?
I think it's just more like closeness.
Yeah.
When you are very close to Baba, it's like I'm on the Baba likes me heart throne. Because I remember that when Brahma Baba, we used to go to Madhuban, and he will call myself and Vivarvana every hour, call Mohini, call. And there are some people who are waiting for appointment for 3 days. And we were so lucky, every time he will call us. And then we came to know the secret, because whenever we went, we gave good news to Baba. We will sing a song or we will tell him a joke. But there are, most of the people went for problem,
right?
Solutions, this happened, or request and help. So if you really want to stay close to God, be smiling and sit next to him. Since I am born, one thing I have done and I will continue to do, I always went smilingly in front of God, always. I never went, Baba, what to do now? This is happening. I just go. And Baba is happy. Baba knows, bless you.
That's why you got this big job.
I'm honestly saying that never, I went with any. I remember once we have Sister Rajya. Something really happened. She said, Sister, when you tell Baba. There are many say to me. I said, okay. So I said, Baba, fulfill now what she needs now. And it did happen. So I feel that stay close to Baba. He is your parents. He is Almighty Baba. Just stay. I always feel that, not of course going sad or with problem or anything. Just go smilingly. Like even when Avek Bandada came, now some people take a toy and gift. I never took it because you have 3 minutes. You want Baba to see the toy, Baba, you to give. Rather, I take all 3 minutes and I take drishti. Lot of people say, you don't take gifts. I said, I don't want drishti on the gift. I want drishti on myself. So I'm going to just take drishti. So sitting on the heart throne is more like be what Baba would like. How would Baba would like me to interact, behave, or just do that. I think is keeps you close to Baba. In other words, is you don't sit on throne, right? You stay close to Baba's heart.
That's nice.
That you can stay as long you want.
Okay. I'll try that tomorrow morning. All right, you said I heard, let's see if this is what you said. Many don't have the concentration power, but they have the love, right? You said that a few minutes ago. They don't necessarily have the concentration power, but they have love. Is love enough for remembrance if you don't have the concentration power?
When Baba always says, love remembrances. Right. When there is love, there is remembrance. But this whole thing of, I couldn't concentrate on Baba. Do you concentrate on your Lokik father? Do you concentrate on any relationship? Love. I remember once we came, there was a big program in London, and we reached 5, and there was World Meditation Hour. So Daddy said we all have to sit. And we all were quite tired. I said, it's all right. Just be in love with Baba. Sit in love with Baba. Because you can't yoga, concentration. Love for Baba is yoga.
That's really nice because I think sometimes we do feel it's about concentration, a little bit of effort making, right? But just love, we can manage that. I think we can manage that.
Baba says, easy yogi. No? I am very easy yogi.
You are a very easy yogi. That's why I'm asking you all these questions.
Belonging to God. If I will be laboring, when I am going to get my joy.
Right.
Right? Baba has come to keep us happy in life. We make ourselves happy. We carry burden. So
that's right. I want to get your explanation because we're getting messages. We here in the US are getting messages from elsewhere. And I just want you to explain. So, after the Indian teachers met, we got a big message that told everyone about certain things to do. So, for example, create a Shanti Kund, a Tapasya Kund, have Sundays continuous yoga bhakti, pay attention to Amrit Vela at the times Baba fixed, have an hour in the evening, have collective yoga every night, introverted morning and evening, create programs of service with Tapasya, and then we got 2 pages on the power of silence. This isn't just for the Indian teachers, is it?
Questions from past.
Huh?
Why you have all questions from what I said before? Why don't you allow me to say something?
Oh, well, please go ahead.
Not I have to, but what I'm saying, that you're taking me back for me to remember
to April.
What Baba said in message, all that. Let's do something fresh. No? Because
that's nice.
I mean, you're reading it, and I say, oh, I know Baba said it. But after that, how many more messages have come, right?
Well, not so many from India for us. We only got one more, which was Karunbhai Modi, right? But something fresh, that would be great. I think my question is, do we
I
listen?
think that most important, take a day, every day. Don't think of far. Past, of course, we have to let go.
Right.
Because I always take a day, and every night then Baba says, thank you. Good day, and you gave me another opportunity. And okay, we will start another day. Before was 1 week. And then I remember Dadi Janki, we used to ask her for our program. She said, in January, Baba tells me how much extension of life he is giving me. And I say same, because I say, okay, he gave 1 day extension. Let's do another day. Let's do another day, So one remains light, trusting in God. And Baba if he's Karan Karavana, let's see what he wants us to do. And things work out very late, right?
So really, you're saying stay in the time we're in and the place we're in.
Okay, so you stay that way too, right?
Yeah, I promise. Yeah.
Okay, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Good night. Om Shanti.